MKUltra, the secret mind control program. What if I told you that one of the most infamous conspiracy theories in modern history turned out to be true? Not partially true, not exaggerated beyond recognition, but documented, confirmed, and admitted by the US government itself. This is the story of Project MKUltra, a covert CIA program that explored mind control, psychological manipulation, and human experimentation, often without consent. For decades, MKUltra lived in the shadows, dismissed as paranoia, conspiracy, or Cold War hysteria. But in the 1970s, a series of investigations pulled back the curtain, revealing a reality stranger and darker than most people imagined. Tonight, we're diving deep into what MKUltra actually is, why it was created, the disturbing experiments that were conducted, how it was exposed, and what questions still remain unanswered. Because while MKUltra was officially shut down, many believes its legacy never truly ended. The origins. To understand MKUltra, you have to understand the world it was born into. It was the early 1950s. The Cold War was in full swing. The United States and the Soviet Union were locked in a battle not just of weapons, but of ideas, intelligence, and psychological dominance. There was a growing fear among US officials that enemies like the Soviet Union, China, and North Korea had developed advanced brainwashing techniques. The fear wasn't brainless. American prisoners of war during the Korean War had made strange confessions and appeared to adopt enemy ideologies. The term brainwashing entered the public consciousness, and inside the CIA, a terrifying question emerged. What if the enemy could control minds, and we couldn't? That fear led to a secret initiative. In 1953, CIA Director Alan Dulles approved a program known as Project MKUltra. Its mission? To explore every possible method of controlling human behavior. What was MKUltra? MKUltra wasn't just one experiment. It was a massive umbrella program made up of over 150 sub-projects, involving universities, hospitals, prisons, pharmaceutical companies, and private researchers. Many of these institutions didn't even know they were working for the CIA. The program explored drugs, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, psychological torture, electroshock therapy, and biological agents. Their goal was simple: find a way to manipulate, control, or break the human mind. The CIA wanted tools that could extract information from interrogations, control behavior, create programmable individuals, and erase or alter memories. In other words, they were trying to hack the human brain. LSD and mind experimentation. One of the most infamous aspects of MKUltra was its use of LSD. At the time, LSD was a relatively new substance, and intelligence agencies believed it might be the truth serum or mind control tool, so they began testing it. But here's where things get disturbing. Many subjects were given LSD without their knowledge or consent. That included civilians, military personnel, prisoners, hospital patients. Some people were dosed repeatedly for days or even weeks. Others were observed behind one-way mirrors while unknowingly under the influence. There were even CIA-run safe houses, sometimes referred to as Operation Midnight Climax, where individuals were lured in, drugged, and secretly monitored. The goal? To study how people behaved when their minds were altered, and whether they could be manipulated. Imagine being drugged without warning. Your perception of reality collapsing, while strangers watched and took notes. This wasn't fiction, it actually happened. Breaking the mind. MKUltra didn't stop at drugs. Some experiments went much further. Researchers explored ways to completely break down a person's identity, with the idea that it could then be rebuilt or controlled. One of the most controversial figures involved was Dr. Ewan Cameron, a psychiatrist working in Canada. His experiments included high-intensity electroshock therapy, induced comas lasting sometimes weeks, repetitive audio messages played for hours or days, and heavy drug combinations. His goal was something he called psychic driving, essentially wiping the mind clean and reprogramming it. Many patients were not informed of what was being done to them. Some entered treatments for minor issues such as anxiety, and left with severe permanent psychological damage, memory loss, personality changes, and emotional breakdowns. Lives were altered forever. Did MKUltra work? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Despite all the experiments, there is little evidence that MKUltra successfully achieved reliable mind control. The human brain proved far more complex and resistant than researchers had hoped. However, that doesn't mean the programs were harmless. Even if the ultimate goal wasn't achieved, The methods used caused real harm to real people, and the willingness to experiment without consent revealed something deeply troubling about the mindset behind the program, how it was exposed. For years, MKUltra remained hidden. Then in the 1970s, everything began to unravel. Following the Watergate scandal, there was a growing distrust of government institutions. This led to a series of investigations, including the Church Committee and the Rockefeller Commission. These investigations uncovered evidence of CIA secret programs, including MKUltra. But there was a catch. In 1973, then CIA Director Richard Helms ordered the destruction of most MKUltra documents. Thousands of records were shredded. However, some documents survived, mainly financial records that had been stored elsewhere. These remaining files were enough to confirm the existence of MKUltra. Public hearings followed. Testimony was given, and for the first time, the government acknowledged that these experiments had taken place. The aftermath. The revelations shocked the public. The idea that a government agency had experimented on its own citizens without consent was deeply unsettling. Some victims came forward. Lawsuits were filed. In certain cases, settlements were reached, but many people never received answers. Because so many documents were destroyed, the full extent of MKUltra may never be known. We don't know how many people were affected, how many experiments were conducted, or how far the research truly went. Theories and speculation. Even today, MKUltra fuels countless theories. Some believe the program never truly ended, or that it simply evolved under different names. Others claim that the techniques developed during MKUltra are still used in modern interrogation or psychological operations. There are also more extreme claims that MKUltra created sleeper agents, that celebrities or public figures have been controlled, or that advanced mind control technology exists today. However, it's important to separate documented history from speculation. What is confirmed is already disturbing enough. There's no need to exaggerate it. Why MKUltra matters today. MKUltra isn't just a Cold War story. It raises important questions that still matter today, like how much power should intelligence agencies have? What ethical limits should exist in scientific research? And can governments be trusted to regulate themselves? It's also a reminder that not every conspiracy theory is fiction. Sometimes the truth takes decades to come out. Final thoughts. Project MKUltra stands as a chilling example of what can happen when fear, secrecy, and power collide. It began with a question, can the human mind be controlled? And it ended up with another. What happens when those in power are willing to try no matter the cost? While MKUltra was officially shut down in the early 1970s, its legacy remains, not just in the documents that survived, but in the lives that were changed, and in the lessons that we still haven't fully learned, because history shows us something important. The line between paranoia and reality is sometimes thinner than we think. If you found this video interesting, make sure to like and hit the subscribe button for more deep dives into hidden history, conspiracy theories, and unexplained events. And let me know in the comments, do you think programs like MKUltra could still exist today?